Taiwan plans to give over 500,000 homeowners nearly $1,000 each to help with mortgage repayments. Here's the cabinet spokesperson announcing the plan.
为了因应3年多来疫情及升息的压力，对中产家庭带来的冲击，政府将运用疫后特别条例规划房贷补贴方案。
The cabinet says low and middle-income homeowners are struggling with repayments because inflation has pushed up interest rates. It wants to help by giving 550,000 mortgage holders a one-off payment of $990. To qualify, households need to earn less than $40,000 a year and own just one home. There are also limits on the size of the mortgage. The scheme will need to be approved by the legislature before it can come into effect. For more on Taiwan's housing crisis, our reporter Staś Butler spoke to Ping Li, head of research at CBRE Taiwan.
What's the state of Taiwan's housing market right now? I mean, how much does it cost for, let's say, an ordinary middle-class person living in Taipei to buy a house?
If we take a look at the house price to income ratio, then in Taipei, the average ratio would be like 10. But in reality, I would say the ratio might be even higher in Taipei. It may be 20 or 30, so which means you literally cannot buy anything. I know, well, people have a concern about the very expensive housing price in Taiwan, but I would argue that actually the wages level, it's something that I think the government should do something to improve. Now,
if you look at kind of statistics for renting and buying a house in Taiwan, you see one of the biggest gaps in the world. It's actually fairly affordable to rent in Taiwan, but buying a house is just astronomically more expensive. Why is that the case?
Yeah, in Taiwan, usually we would say that the home ownership ratio in Taiwan is around 80 to 85%. But in reality, it's more like some people, they own 3 or 4 or 5 houses in Taiwan. So in Taiwan, the residential rental market is very favorable to landlords.
How can Taiwan fix its housing crisis?
I think the government should do more to take their efforts to provide more public housing to the Taiwanese people, just like in Singapore or in Hong Kong. We can see that in Singapore, the housing affordability is not really an issue because they know they can rent house or buy house from the government at a very reasonable price.